And welcome everybody, it's time for another breakdown. As always, of course, as part of this channel here, I am your host Armin, and I am joined by Mitch.
What's up? You can find me on Twitter at Mitch692. I'm losing my shit right now.
Dude, so it's safe to say, none of us expected this to drop today. I'm pretty sure.
I'm like, this is way too early for a Shang-Chi trailer.
It
way
is,
too early.
and dude, it was one of those Mondays, but then the moment I see, it's like, hey, Armin, it's a Monday, but your most anticipated film of the year trailer is dropping. Oh, now, how about it? Like, I watched this thing like 8 times.
Yeah.
Okay, so you know what? We're just gonna get into it. So here's the logo, whatever. That's the logo. We've known what that looks like. That's cool. Let's get to
slight redesign.
It is a slight little redesign. Like, it's not as big as some of the other films we've seen that go through like Ragnarok. You're like, what the hell happened?
I was gonna say, it's not like Ragnarok. It's like, what the hell is this? Little tease of the dragon in there.
Yeah, that's quite nice, honestly, with the little dragon in there. Which we'll talk about that in a little bit. The first scene we have here, though, is we got Shang-Chi. He's looking at this like wooden post and starts to punch it. Now, my guess is this is sort of going to be like when he first shows back up at the monastery temple, and he's like, reminiscing of the training he went through before he quit. Because we definitely get the idea that he gave up everything he was supposed to be destined to be or whatever by his father, right?
Yeah, though it does seem like there's a bit of a breakdown in communication, because it's like he's under the impression he's just left. His dad's like, no, I gave you 10 years.
Yeah.
You're coming back here. You ain't getting it. Right, no, you're mine.
Like, I mean, I like also, which we'll talk about in this a little bit more. Like, you see at the next scene, he's like, he's still quite clearly training to stay in shape in his apartment. You get the sense that he's he didn't fully abandon his ways. He knows what his calling is. He probably anticipated at some point, I got to go back and face my father and everything that's kind of been laid out in front of me, which, again, it's that sort of mentality of abandoning what he had. And, we see in this, like, the life he's living now, this is one of those things where you get the sense that the story's going to be like, dude, you're working as, like, a valet at a hotel, like...
You live in a garage.
Yeah.
Like, your half your wall in your apartment is just a garage door.
Yeah.
That's his little cut.
And of course, we got the scene there. It's our first reveal of whoever Awkwafina is playing. Have they revealed the character?
She's called Katie.
Okay.
Because the Entertainment Weekly article dropped as well, and that gave us some little details into this whole thing. And I'm pretty certain. I think a lot of people thought she was going to be his sister or something like that, but I think she's just like a friend he's made while living in. Are they in California?
Yes, it looks like San Francisco Bay by the look of it. At least some parts of it, like some of the action.
Yeah, I think she's just like the best friend that he's made over here.
Mm-hmm. And maybe there'll be some sort of twist or turn or something. I guess we'll find out. There always could be, like, oh...
See, I know nothing about Shang-Chi apart from a couple of names, and that's about it.
I've read all his crossovers with Iron Fist, obviously, because that's sort of Iron Fist thing. I have read all the most recent runs, and I've gone back and sporadically ran through, like, some of the older runs. So, I know a decent amount, but not enough to qualify me as like, oh, I know what I'm talking about. So I'm like in the middle there, but I intend to read more. After this scene, though, let's transition over to, again, look, like he's partying, nighttime, I believe we also got set photos of this, like they're outside of a nightclub. It was one of the first set photo leaks that looked like it might be set during some sort of event during the blip. Like, that's what the set photos at least looked like, because it was all run down, it looked abandoned, but I was just speculation.
I mean, that'd be cool to actually have this in the blip.
Mm-hmm. Like,
that could explain a hell of a lot.
It could, yeah, which... we don't know. After that, though, we get a flashback scene, which quite clearly they de-aged him.
I was gonna say, have they de-aged him, or is that just a completely different actor?
I figured they de-aged him maybe, but I don't know because it moves so fast. Like,
Yeah, as I say, I took it as they just got a kid actor for this.
Nah,
I could be
could've,
entirely wrong, but
they could have done the thing they did with Chris Evans, where they got a different actor to play Skinny Steve,
and
and
they
then
put his face on it.
Yeah. But they've actually been using that a lot more, and people don't even notice it because it's so common now in Hollywood, but that's become more of a practice standard. But we see they're fighting... Do you think that's maybe like some sort of version of the Hand or something?
I mean, possibly. This could easily set up the Hand or reintroduce the Hand and give them, like, you know, maybe pull a Iron Man 3 with, you know, if they decide to keep Daredevil and Defenders and that, just be like, oh yeah, that was not the Hand.
Yeah.
That was an offshoot. Like, this is where the Hand comes
The
from.
proper Hand.
Yeah.
This is the right hand, not the left. Those schmucks over there can't handle themselves.
It's not the freaky hand that no one likes. This is the correct way to hand things.
We're not meaning any offense to left-handed people. Just before somebody in the comments is like, wait a second, I'm left-handed. That's cool.
Well,
that's cool.
I am.
But also,
We
okay.
don't.
So now we got those bases covered. Whew. Okay. Well. Oh God. Speaking of that, next shot. So we got like the judgmental face here. I think says it all. Like.
Yeah. This is the angry daddy.
Yeah. It's like, look.
Well, not even angry. In that EW article, he called Tony. It's Tony Leung, isn't it? Isn't that how you say it? Like he says outright, he's an antagonist. He never says villain.
Yeah.
You can kind of get the sense of where they're going with it, but so it's. I don't think he's going to be an outright bad guy. He's just going to be
maybe a guy that had a good intent, but let slowly the years and everything sort of take it away. We sort of lost that emotional.
Because they say he's been around for a long time and he's been many things.
Mm-hmm.
So I assume Shang-Chi's not that old in comparison, so maybe he has lost that sense of like fat and all that. But
yeah, I could see that. Speaking of that, next up we got one of the many leaks. This is the Death Dealer.
Oh, just look at it. Oh.
This is yeah.
It's a masterpiece. It's comprehensive.
God damn it. The new meme. I mean, what I like about it is you can distinctly tell they're using like what works with historic looks and fashion, and then putting that ever so slight Marvel spin on it, which it looks so good.
I say it's nothing like anything they've done before.
Yeah.
Completely different textures, completely different fabrics. It looks fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Like we've still seen the toys, and we've seen this. It's like, you know, it looks great. Toys are always unreliable. They're, you know, especially like the Legends ones. They're working off of like old concept art. Like things are going to change, but like, wow, like, just the face, just that mask. It looks stunning.
Yeah, it honestly does look great. I can't wait. A part of me feels like there's going to be some sort of reveal behind the mask that they're going to try to, you know, like one of those things. It's like maybe it's an old childhood friend or maybe it's something, I don't know. But part of me feels like there's going to be swerves in this film that we like don't see coming. That's.
So again, you know, know nothing about Shang-Chi, know nothing about Death Dealer, and it's just like I know the name, I know the look.
Yeah,
that's about it.
Well, after that, we got a bunch of, what I can only assume is the villains. I believe this is one of the bad guys from Creed. I want to say Creed 2. He might have been the guy he fights. We've heard a lot about this actor. Like, he's pretty big and formidable, obviously. Look at the dude. Like,
I believe he's playing Razor Fist. Is that his name? It would make sense given, obviously, later on.
Yeah. Like, very
imaginative with that name.
Yeah, and we get the sense that these dudes, like everybody in this movie, is going to have fighting ability. Nobody's going to be a, schmuck that just stands there and is like, well...
Yeah, this is a martial arts movie. I think the only one that's not going to have... Even then, I wouldn't be surprised if they pull it out of their ass, is Awkwafina.
Yeah, I'm expecting a twist with her.
I kind of want to see her do something.
Same.
I love the actress to death, and it's just like, please do something.
Mm-hmm.
Even if she's bad at it, just even if the joke is she's bad at it, just have her do it.
Just have her do it. Yeah, I could go with that. After that though,
just to stay on that for 1 second quickly, it's very it reminds me a bit of like how Korea was in Black Panther.
That's
like
exactly what I was thinking of. Yep.
Even though it's like it looks like shipping crates on the walls, like it looks really nice.
It does. Well, one thing we're gonna notice in this is the distinct differences of lighting, which we'll talk about in just a little bit. I mean, talk about it in the next scene with the chopper landing, like the army right there. Like.
Yeah, this is a typical, very grey shot.
I just want to point out that this castle is defended by what looks like ion cannons from science fiction.
Yeah.
Like
Could this be something to do with it? Not talking about the operation as a whole, but just purely the cannons. Could that be something from the Ten Rings?
You know what?
Could they really go the alien route with them and be like, yeah, we're gonna have these AI or fallen warrior spirits trapped in these rings?
I mean, yeah.
And stuff, and it's just like, this is how, all these secrets and everything.
I feel like if they want to make right with everybody that was so pissed off at Iron Man 3, you kind of have to at least tease it.
Yeah, because I'm going to go back to that EW article a fair bit in this, because it's got a lot of interesting details. They kind of say that Wenwu is, he's not the Mandarin. He went by the Mandarin at a point, but he's a new character.
Mm-hmm.
Which, fair enough, they do the Mandarin look right in this. I can live with that. But so they're taking him in a different direction, obviously.
Yeah.
I think you kind of have to do the Ten Rings right, like themselves.
You also got to explain the times have changed. He can't be Fu Manchu from 1,000 years ago. Still, it's like, come on, like, you're gonna. You got to change with the times so you don't look as conspicuous and, like, has this guy have been living for 1,000 years? I don't know. He wears clothes from 1,000 years ago, so, it's...
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, because this is very militaristic.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, I think, there's a little bit of Mandarin in here, because obviously Mandarin has evolved. He's that businessman. He does have an army at one point, I believe. So... It's kind of in line, but they're obviously going to change a lot of it up. So I wonder just how much they've changed up.
Well,
let's hope those rings still play.
That's the thing. If we go to the next frame, we got Mandarin there. We see those forearm wrist gauntlets, which we assume is now the new 10 rings. I mean, this kind of goes and further confirms that.
But he looks great there.
Oh my
that's
God.
very, very reminiscent of the Trevor Slattery Mandarin. Yep. It's just like, it looks so good.
Yeah.
And, like even in the background with each ring, each one's got a different, I can't think what the term for it. It's not hieroglyphic, is it? But,
No, not.
It's got different writing in each of the rings. So it's like, obviously each one is different from the other one.
Yep.
So, and that kind of gives me hope that they are keeping that individuality of them, even though you can kind of get a sense of what they do at a basic level in this trailer.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, because, like, as we go on, we're going to see in the next frame, we specifically see the 10 rings. We see the one, like, a forearm.
They split. They do the Kung Fu Hustle thing.
Yep. Which...
They are metallic steroids.
Metallic steroids.
Fashionable steroids. Wearable.
I mean, that's as good a description as I've heard, so I'll go with that. Yeah, this is definitely... I really like this. Like, that effect looks really cool. It also, like, I don't know if it's just to me, but it looks like within them is some sort of, like, rock formation. Like,
I'd say they look really, like, crystalline.
Yeah.
Crystalline. They look really nice in there. Which, again, it just leads me to believe that they're alien.
Yep.
They look like alien technology. Especially with the whole, like, they're small... Then they spread out and he gets bigger, like in the blue.
And also some of the stuff we're gonna see them do for, like, we'll talk about it in a little bit. I did want to highlight this scene though, right here with the big screens, the chopper and everything. This was the last thing they shot before the shutdown happened. So
yeah, I believe it's in Singapore.
Yes, we don't know if that's where it's going to take place per se. We just don't know. We could hypothetically say yes, they shot in Singapore, but maybe this will be Madripoor. I mean,
possibly. It very well. It looks a bit not crappy to be Madripoor, unless it's just true. Like I can't imagine Madripoor's a big island, but it doesn't look as. I don't know. It's obviously got a similar aesthetic to Madripoor.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked either way. I think it looks too civilian with the cars and everything going about.
True.
Because even though they're walking on the road in Falcon and Winter Soldier, like, there's no cars.
Right, yeah. It's a different type of vibe. So maybe they'll be like, yeah, you're in Singapore. Don't go across the bay. That's Madripoor. That bad.
Yeah. That's the bad poor. You don't go there.
This is the good one. Stay here. Enjoy our delicacies and stuff. Anyways, though, next frame. So here we go. We got some martial arts action here.
This looks fantastic. I saw this and I was like, that is Raya. I know, like, I don't know, there's something about it that I was like, that, it really reminded me of Raya in The Last Dragon. Obviously, it's very much more like, you know, House of Flying Daggers, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Yeah. Now, what do you make of this? Like, because the action in this, once they start picking it up here, it looks like it looks like they're using what works in older Asian martial arts films. Like, the actors are clearly defying gravity. That's to be given.
Yeah, the way she moves, is that, like, she's not floating, but it looks like she is. Like, she's that light on her feet, and obviously he's, like, 12 foot in the air.
Yeah.
They're definitely paying, like, homage to the old styles of films.
Yeah, they are. It honestly fits here so perfectly. Like, this is the one where you would want them to be. You're like, yeah, this is this really does work.
And that is Wen Wu, isn't it? That's not Shang-Chi. It looks like he's got the braces on the arms.
Yes, I believe that is, because it wouldn't make sense to me. Like, this scene feels like a flashback to me.
Yeah. Like, maybe that's his mother or something. I tell you what, I'm gonna put a bold prediction right now. She's something to do with Fin Fang Foom.
Yeah. The green. I could see that being a connection.
Like the mask as well. It kind of. I don't know. I mean, completely pulled that in my ass.
And also the music blasting in this, talking about a dragon. Like.
Yeah, which the music fits this so. I think a part of the reason why this trailer is as good as it is just the timing of that music. It's like, no, we're going hard with this thing.
Yeah. Oh, but God, did they ever do with this?
As the kids say, this slaps.
Yes, this does the slap. Yes, this does the slap. Next up, though, let's talk about the fight tournament we've heard so much about, because we know there is one in this. How this ties into everything, though, good luck figuring it out, because it seems like there's a lot of moving pieces in this film.
I would say, there's been about 3 different leaks that are like, oh yeah, there's a fight tournament in it, the whole film revolves around this fight tournament, and it's like, I guess there's a tournament in it. I didn't get the impression the film revolves around this bit. Obviously, it's only a 2-3 minute trailer, but
yeah. So here's my prediction, and I'm gonna go with the most bare basic prediction anybody can make in regards to this. Don't think I'm doing anything original here or anything. Shang-Chi is part of this tournament that he gets into sort of involuntarily. It's been organized by Mandarin because he needs to find somebody to change his spirit or essence into their body. It's the Shang-Tsung saying from Mortal Kombat. Look, like, I'm predicting that, look, his body's decrepit, it's aging, he's been around forever, he needs a new, younger body, he's hosting a tournament to find a suitable host, yada yada. Like, I'm predicting
the 10 rings will glow orange and they'll transfer his soul.
Yeah. Like, you know, like, I'm not making any bold, insane predictions here. It's been done a million times, but not in the context of the MCU, and now how I'm assuming they'll put a spin on it, being like, well, if you find a younger thing, you'll then be able to control a dragon like you used to back in the day or something. Like, I'm expecting something like that. Like, you got to be young to be able to tame a dragon because Fin Fang Foom, and we've seen the Lego leaks of another dragon that's all white. So I'm trying to connect some pieces here because we're getting a dragon battle in this film. We know that.
Oh yeah, like, yeah. I mean, we've seen the giant, like the Lion Guardians in the flashback in an earlier scene, which that looks fantastic. I could not wait for that. So, having a massive dragon in a Fin Fang Foom, it makes sense. Mm-hmm. But I wouldn't be surprised if this whole thing is like, all right, if you win this, you can live your life doing what you want.
Yeah.
If I win this, you're mine. What that entails is, is whatever's up to me. Obviously, it's going to be a bit rigged because antagonist / villain, something or other. But that's where I'd go with it.
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely see that.
But who is she? Because I know that people are always like picking out the characters that have been in this, and I know there's another one outside of Death Dealer and Razorfist, and I just can't remember. I
remember looking at the figures in all the leaks, and it's completely like jumped out.
Someone be like, "I can't believe we don't know who this is, man." And it's like, well, thank you for telling me.
Thank you. Now I shall go do more research. I will say I am like out of all the characters and actors we also know are in this film, there's still a lot that's missing from it. Like and obviously I think they're gonna save that, but I guess we'll move on next to this scene right here of Shang-Chi almost getting his face ripped off. That's pretty cool.
Razor fist.
I wonder if that
he has a razor for a fist. If he doesn't call him Gillette, I'm going to be upset.
Yeah. What mock razor are you, bro? I mean, it would fit. The thing I see with this one is, out of this entire trailer, the thing that sticks out to me as this looks weird is this moment, because everything else seems so like martial arts ingrained in the films I watch so much.
This is the Jackie Chan minute.
Yeah.
This is absolutely Jackie Chan minute, which you have to pay homage to Jackie Chan. You can't not. Oh, come on. Now, they've said that they're taking from everything, so you're going to get a mixture of a lot of different styles.
Yep.
I just want to know why it's always like a train or a bus.
Yeah.
They love these close quarters things. Obviously, it's close quarters. It makes it fun, a bit hectic, and a bit kinetic. But it's like, why would you ever get on a train or a bus in this?
They want a great scene where Shang-Chi's gonna kick his arm, and it's gonna like do the half thing where half of it rips off, and it looks cool, and
yeah. I can see it.
I can see this play out in my brain. I'm seeing it right now.
But the perspective here looks really strange in this still. Like in the trailer, it looks fine, but this shot, you guys, it's just like this looks really. He looks really close to the camera, while like the blade in him is really far away.
It's like weird because he's like entering this slow motion, almost like perception type of like video game slow motion. I don't know how to describe it. Like, and it does look a little weird in this frame, but it looks fine in the trailer, like you said. Which is, it is what it is.
It looks like a fun scene. It's very much like you have to deal with multiple things at once.
Yeah.
Aquafina's got something to do because she's stopping the bus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's driving it frantically,
on two wheels, going down the hill. It's like, oh god.
And then we do have the last scene here again on the bus. We have him as Shang-Chi right before the logo pops up at the end of the trailer, which obviously is followed by the sequence of train crashing down San Francisco. Man, this.
I say he looks the part. The movie looks fantastic. I cannot believe they went this hard for Shang-Chi.
Yeah, this looks.
I really can't.
I was expecting a lot more of a. I don't know, tame is I think a word I want to use. Like
I was expecting more of a Marvel movie.
Yeah. That's not an insult. Like
no, it's not. But they have their quote formula.
Yeah.
I suppose. No, they have the way they like to do things. And if this is an indicator of where they're going,
oh boy,
and how they just like we've done 13 years of this, and we're going to take a bit more of a liberty with everything. That's fine. And if this is any indicator of what Eternals is going to be like, then yes, we're going to stick with this now. Give me 20 years of this, please. I'll be happy.
I am good with this being franchised and more of this, because I'm only starting to imagine how it's going to look when this dude shows up in like a crossover, and then he starts doing all this thing. They're just like, what? Huh. Interesting. Like,
yeah.
I'm already excited for what's next with this character, and I've only gotten this damn trailer, so I am hyped.
I'm also glad they didn't give him like the clone power.
Yeah,
that he has, that never uses in the comics. It's like, yeah, I like the idea of him having it, but never using it because he doesn't need to, and getting pissed off when he does use it. But
you know how at the beginning he's doing that whole punching and it's really fast? My guess is the clone power is going to be that he can move so fast that maybe he appears like he's in 2 or 3 locations within a second.
I can see that. The anime route.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. He's moving quicker than you can see, but he's stopping every now and then so the light can reflect off of it.
Exactly. Like, that's how I picture it's going to look, and in that way, I'm fully hyped for that. But yeah, the whole cloning thing, I would have been like, ooh, no, it's, not the biggest fan of that, even in the comics. So, overall, man, I think we're both hyped for this, right? That trailer.
Absolutely. I was speechless when this dropped.
Yeah.
What did I just watch? I've got to watch it again.
I am like in heaven right now, because this week, Mortal Kombat, my number 2 most anticipated film this year, and number 1, Shang-Chi, on my birthday. Like, and it drops in the same week as Mortal Kombat. Like, I cannot believe how good this week is already doing. So it's like, man, this trailer was everything. This is what I needed.
Yeah, so this movie's going to be something special, and I'm pretty certain Shang-Chi is going to be a pretty big part of everything going forward.
Hopefully. I mean, this trailer, man, if they can do this, I can only imagine this is the first trailer that's always like, I have some questions, and can you reveal more? Wait till the next trailer reveals the dragon and more action as it gets closer to final edits. Oh my god.
When the CG's a tiny bit more ready than it probably is right now.
And they completed more of the fight sequences of him with the suit, and more scenes of Mandarin and the rings and the powers. I'm only starting to imagine how good that's going to be. So,
because they don't, even the small fights in this, they don't do the whole cutaway bit. It's not messy looking. It looks clean.
Yeah, it does. So
I just can't wait for it. I need some. I get this feeling they're going to do something really interesting with the Ten Rings, because they are 13 years in the making.
Same. Yep.
We've had this organization since Iron Man 1.
Yeah, Jesus.
And we've only had a fake, piss take with it. So, if they're going to do it, what are they going to be doing with it? How deep is this thing going to go?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's all that lore and world building hopefully does pay off. As always with us, we'll be back on this week's podcast. Maybe we'll be talking more about it, because some of those articles and details are going to be coming out over the next weeks. That's usually how they follow trailers. So hopefully we see you guys on that podcast. And until then, let us know what you guys thought, or any details you might have seen.